All right, thank you, ma'am. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Jacksonville City Council work session this May 22nd of 2023. I'll call this meeting to order and roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Green? Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster?
Here.
Mr. Galloway?
Here.
All right. Item 3 is the acceptance of the minutes. Any questions, comments, additions, deletions to the minutes that were sent out? Hearing none, thank you, Brenda. Right, item 4 is finance manager job, treasurer's job description. Ms. Grant. Finance manager / treasurer job description. Get the title correct.
Yes. So, as you all know, we announced this position previously. We had 6 applicants to apply. We had it out on the streets for 2 weeks, and Civil Service Board did not get an applicant that met all of the requirements. Therefore, they did not develop a list. So I'm recommending that we make some minor changes to the qualifications, and that should help us get there. I would tell you, we had a variety of people that applied. One person actually had both a bachelor's and a master's in accounting, but did not have any supervisory experience. And I think we also asked for progressive experience in accounting. It was on her first job in accounting. So what I'm recommending, if you look at the job application, the job description that you have, rather than the 17 hours that we initially required, I'm saying 12, go back to the 12 hours. Rather than the 3 or more years of progressive responsible experience, just 3 or more years of experience, take out the progressive responsible. Supervising, I'm gonna say preferred on that one. And the bottom line is, when I look at these applicants, whoever come in, none of them had, say, governmental kind of experience. So it's gonna require some on-the-job training. So I will be able to do that with whomever we select for this, but if we're gonna get someone in to fill this position, I think we need to open up the pool a little bit more. We'll probably get even more applicants, but I'm almost certain if it was not for the supervisory experience, the top applicant that I saw, we probably would have selected her. So that's what I'm asking to, let's change these qualifications just a little bit and see if we can't get a better pool, knowing that whoever that individual is, we're gonna have to train them to do municipal type accounting. And we've been keeping our heads above water up to this point, so I feel confident that if we get someone in that just really can understand accounting, that we will be able to get that person up to speed to do this job.
The only thing I don't think we need to change the 17 hours. When the big, it seemed like the biggest holdup was the supervisory stuff, so that's the only thing I kind of had a problem with, was changing from going from 17 to 12 on that.
I think out of the 6 applicants that we had, only 3 of them had, say, 17 hours of accounting. Most times with accounting, if you are an accounting major, you may get to 15 hours of accounting. I think we went to 17 because apparently JSU have a different program that they require a 2-hour level class, that we added the 2 hours to make it 17. But out of the folks we saw, there was only 3 of them, and 2 of them had a bachelor degree in accounting, the one person the master's in accounting, but then the others didn't even have the master's, was not in accounting, it was in a different field. So I think what you're gonna find, unless you've got that master's in accounting, you're probably gonna find 15 hours instead of the 17. The master's, you definitely got 17 plus in accounting.
What do you two think?
I think the supervisor thing is, that's something you can develop later on, so be it, whatever it is, and however you decide to structure it, I don't see whether that's a hang-up. 12 hours to 17 hours, I mean, would it be better if we put it to 15 hours? if that's the roller course, so that's
Yeah.
what, 3-hour courses, that's 5 of
I'll
them?
do
It's
that.
fine.
Would that be
County courses.
Yeah.
kind of
I'll do that.
middle ground?
Mm-hmm.
I think we'd be better off trying the 15 since, I don't
I could be
remember
okay with
how long
15.
ago it was that I had all that accounting, so I don't know if it was 15 or it seemed like it was 45 hours I wound up taking, but, I think 15 would be fair, and then that way you're splitting between 17 and 12.
Wasn't
I-
it originally 12?
It was.
It was originally
It was
12.
originally 12.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that's, 15 seems, that's 5 courses, I mean, just about you're gonna have to take that many,
For your bachelor's,
yeah, for you back to
Well,
get
it
out.
sounds like,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, most times, it's just not the accounting, you know, you
Yeah.
add the finance course, the business courses, all of that equate to,
yeah.
you know, business courses, the accounting specific. You're gonna have somebody with a major
Yeah, so,
in accounting to get
I mean,
to 15.
that's.
Well, and once again, I know, we're, thanks to Bert and Laura still coming in from time to time. As she said, we're staying afloat, we're keeping our head above water. I'm for doing the 15 and then the other changes that you suggested and see what happens. Not say we may not have to come back and try it again, but
Yeah, but I think, seems like that would be a kind of a meeting in the road with no supervisory skills in 15 hours. It seems like that would,
I'm okay with that, that's not a problem for me.
all right.
I'm good.
I agree, that's good.
Okay, so we will make those changes then and
Okay.
give it back.
just a question,
Sure.
not that I have many, but, what timetable, if we get this approved and we get it back out there, what kind of timetable? Because we're, you know, you're keeping your head above water, but at some point in time, with budget time crunching around, that you're gonna have to start putting the budget together for us. What kind of time frame are you looking like? It'd take a month, or with
I
the
think
civil
it's-
service board doing
yeah.
their thing?
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably the beginning of July before we see someone walk in the door. I think their meeting in July should be a time when we can get someone.
Cause they won't meet with civil service till next month, right?
Right, they'll meet on, I think it's the 5th
Of
of,
June.
the 5th of June.
And
is
then you
when
gotta
they'll
run
meet.
it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we're gonna put it back out for 2 weeks, and so by the time they have, because we'll have a meeting in middle of June that we'll be able to get it approved, hopefully here, so that when they meet, their first meeting in July, we should be able to have a
Can they
meeting.
not meet before then?
They have a special call
I know
meeting,
this
but
might be an imposition, whatever, but this is a pretty critical position we got going here.
I'm sure they will if we ask them. I just think we're doing fine right now.
Okay. Well, I don't doubt that, I just, you don't need that much pressure on you, but,
So you're gonna do the, you're gonna give them 2 weeks to advertise and,
Correct. So if we
and
get
you're
it,
gonna have time to do interviews before the 26th council meeting of June?
I think what we kind of decided, if we keep it out until, trying to think of the dates that Joy and I talked about today. If we can get it out,
We can have a special call meeting. if
This
we need
week.
Mhm.
to-
well, we'll get it out on the 5th when they meet, but they'll approve the job description. And give them 2 weeks. I think it takes us to about the 21st. June? Yeah. In fact, I think what we said was we're gonna actually have to ask them to meet sometime at the end of June, I think, so we can have it ready for the first council meeting.
In July?
Mhm.
Okay, I thought you meant.
so it'll be
their meeting.
July 10th.
Yeah, I think the first council meeting was the 10th of July. The 10th or the 12th? What date is it? I'm not sure. But I think that's what we worked
The
out.
first one in July will be, ours will be the 10th.
10th, okay. Yeah, I think our notion was that we can have them to meet sometime that first week, that last week of June, that we can get it to you all by the first meeting in July.
So
Okay.
you're thinking we'll have someone by the end of July then, 1st of August?
Well, we should have a list back, say the 21st of June. if we put it out there for 2 weeks, ask the Civil Service Board to meet that last week of June, so they can approve that list, and then we can make the selection. and
But
get
then
it
they're
back
gonna have
the
to work out a
council.
notice
On
probably.
the tenth,
Mhm.
It'll be August.
but if they have to work a notice, but it'd probably towards the end of July before we actually.
Yeah, it'll be August
That's
before we,
possible.
that's,
Okay, do you wanna go ahead and put it on the agenda and just say with that amendment, do that amendment saying that it's approved with 15 hours rather than the 12 that we have on there for tonight anyway?
any other changes that she said?
Yeah, we already got those.
Okay.
It'll be the only thing that will need to be changed is go back to 15 hours, so we'll do something like that.
Sure.
Thank you, Bert.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ms. Burke?
Thank you for what you're doing, and everybody else.
You have an update on?
Yeah, I have several. All right, Eastwood School, I do have, 4 or 5 good comments about it. I think everybody knows that we met last Monday, and we have someone that's gonna help us get this thing going. I've talked to Dr. Killingsworth this morning, and then, Tim Gardner called me right after we finished. I'm meeting with Tim Wednesday morning to look at putting a production together like it was suggested, and that we had talked about. And we're gonna put together a good video with mainly Sandra and maybe Miss Sims, ones that have been around. You'll have to help make sure about who we need to steer on that, but have them sit down.
Calling me the casting director?
Yeah, you casting director.
Okay, thank you.
And, they're gonna use their drones, they're gonna use B-roll, and they can use some of the pictures that, we've got to create talking points that we can use when they have the reunion, and then we can send it to corporations or hand deliver them to corporations and stuff. So I feel good, and we need to move and get it done now because Jack State's got several big projects coming, so the timing of what we need, when we need it, works right down the alley. I had been concerned, and we talked about getting a 5013C. The good part is Eastwood already has a 5013C, so we can use that. So that puts us in a position where we've got to do some paperwork for it, I think, make sure how the money lines up and what it comes in and where it goes and all that. But that'll be, that's taken care of. The sponsorships, I think, will, with the gentleman we have that we've all met and got to talk with, I have been in conversation with him as well as one of the other guys that came in. They are saying they'll see us soon. So that's why I want to go ahead and get this video together where when they come, we can show it, get their opinions on it, and which brings up another conversation. We've got the structural engineer coming the first full week of June to look at it, which I have a question for everyone. Do we not need to look at about cleaning up the inside of that before that structural engineer goes in there?
That question may be better for him
Well,
to see.
Mark Williams seems to think it may help because it's so dark in there, that if all that stuff's cleaned out of there, they can get in, they can look at it, and it's gonna have to be cleaned out anyhow.
Didn't we have a thing about asbestos?
Yeah,
Concerned
but,
about asbestos?
Mark Stevens got that, and
Okay.
it's very minimal, that Cody
Yeah.
got the guy lined up, and it's very minimal as far as asbestos.
Really great.
That's not, shouldn't be any type of problem. But are we at a point where we wanna do that, or you just wanna wait and see where it goes? Personally, I think we need to clean it out, but I don't know if that's what everybody else wants to do.
Do we have time to do that between now and?
Probably so, because that's about 2 weeks we'd have. And, the bad part of it is, do you get the Stanley and his group to go in there and do it, or do we keep them doing what they're doing, and Park and Recreations keep doing what they're doing, and we pay somebody to have it cleaned out?
We're talking like pressure washing?
No, just go in there and pull all those desks out, throw them in the dump truck, take them all to the landfill, all that old plaster that just fell on the floor. You can get somebody with gloves and a mask and go in there and clean it out and just have just one big dumpster, or if Stanley's got an extra dump truck, you put it there, let them fill it up and call and get somebody to haul it off or however you do it. But I think we need to think about that because, well, let's say the structural engineer comes back and he said it's a go, then we've already got that much out of the way, and if it's not, it's gonna have to be torn out and cleaned out anyway, so. But I have a feeling with everything that's been looked at and said, so just for food for thought for y'all to think about, you know, if we wanna do that and get that done. So, that's my report on Eastwood. We got the 501, about to clean up, the sponsorships, the film, so it's moving faster. I've got an interview with Anderson Star tomorrow. She wants to write a piece about it tomorrow, so I told her I'd give her some quotes. So I think it's an exciting time, and there are a lot of people getting really excited about it, so I thank you. One other question. I was going through, changing parts. I was going through our proposal or whatever we're talking about when Marcus, our chief, came to us about the job descriptions and stuff. Are we still entertaining? Are we still progressing? Or what was the final part? Because just looking through all this, I thought, you know, where are we going? Are we gonna wait for the fiscal year, or we're not? Or,
You about hiring those or
yeah,
just-
changing those job descriptions and stuff.
I'd like to bring you a recommendation before you make a decision.
I said, okay, that's good, because I just, like I
You
said, I
talking
go,
about like during budget time or prior to budget?
Probably prior,
Okay.
but it may be budget time before we can do anything.
Right.
So at least
Yes.
we need to go ahead and make a decision on what we're gonna do.
I just saw all that stuff and I was looking through it and I thought, thank you, I'm through.
Anything else?
Yes, the gate should hopefully be getting installed on Chimney Peak this week. I met with the 811, they came and there's nothing there to drill into, any type of, wires or cable or anything like that, so, the gate is already here, he's got it at his shop, so hopefully this week it gets put in.
That'd be great.
What about signage?
We need to get on that.
I asked you about the electronic signage that we have, like what we used for the bike races, at least to get started, if there was somewhere to put it. They're so large, I don't know if there's anywhere to actually place them.
You might could after they get the widening done, maybe.
I think you might want to do those back down, close to make a drive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what we kinda talked
Yeah,
about.
exactly, because that's really Macon's the last turn.
Right there.
Right, Macon, you need to know before Macon or at Macon, so that way they can turn off or turn around.
And I think there's some space right there.
Mhm.
So we need to come up with a sign and, send it to the university too, and let them look at it, make sure they're good with what it says, and I think aren't y'all gonna do,
About the gate?
about the gate, a
Yeah,
statement
we're
on
just
that?
waiting to, I wanna try to put it out there a day or two before it is actually up or goes into effect, just to head off any kind of speculation as to why it's there.
Sure.
Right.
The story is not as dramatic as people would like it probably be.
Right. So that's all I got on that. So we just need to get it, I guess, whoever does our signs, stuff,
Usually use traffic signs.
traffic signs.
Back to cleaning out the Eastwood School, we never did get much of a conclusion about, y'all want me to get with Stanley and see if we,
What do you think? Do they have time to tackle
I could
something?
sure see what they're doing, what their schedule is.
It shouldn't take a couple of days, or depending on how many people you put on it.
Let me see, might get kind of a combination with them and Hard both involved.
To me, I think it'd be beneficial if you can. If you can't, then we go play the game out and see what happens. But it'd probably take that guy less time going in there to look at the structural part of it if he doesn't have to fight through, looking at the floors and stuff.
Well, you know, one of the last times you and I were having coffee,
Yeah.
someone said they had 20 volunteers that was needing something or would like to do.
That's what I was saying.
Well, there may be someone in the audience from Jack State that works with the SGA that may have some other individuals that may
Need some
may be
volunteer
interested in
hours.
doing it. But, so, yeah, you know, I agree. My only part that we need to be careful with is if we get individuals outside the cities, making sure they wear the gloves and they wear the mask.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think there's anything that's earth shaking in there, but that way if we take the upper side and be real careful. But I don't think it'd take that long to, you know, some people get in there, throw it in the dump truck and haul it off and come back and get another load or two. And, if you can, Mayor, that would be awesome.
I'll check it, see what we do. I just wanted to mention one thing, if I could.
Sure.
You have an agenda, I don't remember what number it is, but you have an agenda item about the municipal water pollution prevention program. And I don't know how much attention you pay to that, but if you haven't, before you vote on it tonight, look at page 11, the summary page. And then when you get a chance, congratulate Chris Patterson. You know, when you look at that, this is one of those times where you won't get as fewer points as you can. And we got 28 out of a total of 783. So it's just great report that's going in. So I just want to make you, if you haven't looked at that, look at that summary page. It's pretty impressive. They do a great job. Just want to give them a little attention. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? All right, we'll adjourn, and if you don't mind, we'll get started back right at 6:30. That gives us 8 minutes to, when they take a break and
Yes, sir. Thank you.
get our stuff ready. If you'll bear with us, we'll start back in about 8 minutes.
Is that about all we need?
But, Miss Sims was a big
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the City of Jacksonville Council meeting this May 22nd of 2023. I'll call this meeting to order and ask you all to please stand while the invitation is given by Dr. Keith Moore from the First Presbyterian Church. And then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Moore.
Let us pray. Almighty God, with grateful hearts we call on your holy name tonight, thanking you for your magnificent creation, especially for Jacksonville, Alabama, here in the beautiful foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. We want to acknowledge you as the great shepherd of our city, whose love has sustained us through the ages past and the struggles of the present. As we face the future, we pray for the light of your presence as the City Council considers the items on its agenda. May civility rule each moment, and may truth and justice emerge triumphant in each decision for the common good of our citizens. And now, may the words of each mouth, and just as surely the meditations of each heart, be acceptable to you. For you, O Lord, are our rock and our Redeemer. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Thank you, sir, for being here. Roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Green? Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster? Here. Mr. Galloway?
Here.
Item 5, the adoption of the minutes for our May 8th, both work session and council meeting. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 6 is adoption of the agenda. I think we have a addition.
To the main agenda, delete item 10, consideration of ordinance number 0-647-23, amending a portion of section 19-81, chapter 19 of solid waste, article 4, trash collections of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Jacksonville, Alabama, and it was to be the first reading. Also to the main agenda, amend item 14, consider action to approve the amended job description for finance manager treasurer, range 33, per the attached, with a change to a minimum 15 hours, and request the Civil Service Board's approval of same.
All right, thank you, Ms. Burke. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 7 is proclamations. I do not believe we have any proclamations tonight, so item 8.
Consider action to enter into an executive session under the provisions of the Code of Alabama, section 36-25A-7A6, to discuss the sale of real property.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Green? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Laster? Yes. Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
We'll be returning shortly, and if it were to be a delay, I'll definitely let you know. But it should be just a few minutes, so thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. I'll call this meeting back to order. We have a change in our agenda. Ms. Brady, you want to read the
Right.
petition, please?
To the main agenda, add item 13A, consider action to approve the purchase and sale agreement between Centennial Homes LLC and the city of Jacksonville per the attached.
All right, thanks, ma'am. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
All right, motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, so we'll go to item 9. This will be public comment concerning any agenda item. Anything that is on the agenda, feel free to come up and speak on it. Just make sure you state your name and address at the podium, and then see the city clerk before you leave. If no one comes forward, we'll move on to item 11.
Consideration of resolution number R-2179-23 regarding municipal water pollution prevention MWPP program.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 12.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the service agreement with Ray Hawthorne per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 13.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the service agreement with Easton Parker per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion in 2 seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 13A.
Consider action to approve the purchase and sale agreement between Centennial Homes LLC and the city of Jacksonville per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 14.
Consider action to approve the amended job description for finance manager treasurer, range 23 per the attached, with a change to a minimum 15 hours, and request the civil service board's approval of same.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 15.
Consider action to appoint city administrator Alberta Grant as city treasurer due to the resignation of Laura Copeland.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 16.
Consider action to approve the reclassification of the following: David Smith, firefighter paramedic, range 11A, effective May 24, 2023, due to obtaining paramedic license.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 17.
Consider action to accept the resignation of the following. Item A is Logan Hill, part-time firefighter, EMT, effective May 10th, 2023. Item B is Melissa Clay, senior center program laborer, effective May 25, 2023. Item C is David Knotkin, utility equipment operator, effective May 23, 2023. And item D is Joseph Phillips, utility maintenance assistant, effective May 10th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Consent agenda.
Item 18 is budget amendment request. Item 19, request to attend conference training session with cost exceeding $1,000.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, item 20. Item 20 is public comments on G&E general items. This is an opportunity to come and address the council. If you do so, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and then make sure the city clerk has your information for you later. So this is time to address the council. You'll all have each have 3 minutes.
Hey guys, I'm Natasha Hammock, 1000 Miranda Lane. Y'all know why we're here. This is 3 years going on now We had another event this past week, and it was probably one of the worst we've had. We have noticed that the water flow is increasing. I'd like some clarification on where y'all were digging on the other side of Jacksonville, Alexandria, because now there's water coming from that direction. So not only is it coming through the culverts and the ditches from Eagles Landing and Sagewood into Cotton Creek, but now it's coming across Alma Road down from the junkyard. So the amount of water, again, y'all, this isn't safe. Just to let you know, we know that there's been some spraying upriver on Amanda Lane and everything with glyphosates, what we were told. But after this one, we went ahead and took water samples from the different locations around where the flooding is, and we've sent them to Auburn. Because this isn't good. This isn't good, y'all. We've got to have something done. We've been here 3 years in a row. We're here every time there's a major incident, and I kind of feel like we've gotten out of sight, out of mind. But y'all, these are our homes, and we're still here. We're still dealing with this, and we need your help. And we are out. Y'all have left us for dead. I mean, there has been nothing. And we need, I'd like some clarification on where the digging is and why the direction of the water flow has increased with more flow. And then I would also like to know where we are on a solution, because it shouldn't take 3 years to get action on something. It just shouldn't. So, do I need to sign something?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize up front. I've had some throat surgery, so I'm not going to be long-winded here. My name is Charles Burdett. I live at 1107 James Hopkins Road. When the drainage ditches in that area overflow, I own the property that's always underwater. It never fails. I don't know what can be done, if anything. I don't know if you know of anything that can be done. But quite frankly, I don't have the resources or the physical ability anymore at this point to deal with the situation that I'm sure inevitably is going to come if something is not done. So I'm here simply tonight to ask if you know of anything you can do, anything to help, please help us. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for allowing me this time.
My name is Mark Walker. I live at 1005 Jackson's Way here in Jacksonville. And again, my house is surrounded by the ditches. And one of the things, just for clarification, that would be very helpful, I've come and stood before you before as a city council. I know that there's not much y'all can do about this. But one of the questions that I've asked several times is whose responsibility is it to actually maintain the ditches? And the reason I bring this up is because one of the people that live next door to me is a 79-year-old retired lady, and I would never ever ask her to maintain the ditch that is technically on her property that runs congruent with mine. So I asked her to call the city because we needed them sprayed again because the weeds were starting to grow, and it's really hard to, with the rock that's in there, to do anything other than weed control. And when she called the city, and I don't know exactly who she spoke with, but I did speak with her, and she told me that she was told by the city that, ma'am, that is not your responsibility. The city will handle that. And so I'm saying that to say this. We need to work together. And so what I'd like to propose, if it be possible, that could we put together a group that live in our neighborhoods, made up of homeowners, made up of people from the city department, the street department, the mayor's office, where we can come together and find some solutions. We need to work together to tackle this. And I think there's gotta be a way, I know we've been talking about a retention pond, and I know those things are gonna be difficult, but my next door neighbor across the street, when a tree flows down the ditches and clogs up the drain and his yard is covered with soot, he's the one out there cleaning it up. Can we work together to find a spirit of unity and cooperation where we can come together as citizens, working with the city, working with the street department? Because as a citizen, it's very frustrating when I'm told, hey, that's your responsibility, and my neighbor calls and says, no, that's the city's responsibility. I want us to work together and find a way to find some resolution in all of this for the betterment of our city and for the betterment of all of us. And let's just work together. So I'm willing to do that, and I'm willing to come along board and work with the city and figuring out a way to make this work. I think it's gonna take all of us, not just pointing fingers to who's to blame. Let's all work together.
Good evening, my name's Shelby Scott. I currently live at 1305 Amanda Lane at the first part of the ditch, and I have a piece of property at the end on 1000 Jackson Way. That's the corner lot there in the corner that we're planning to build on eventually. We've been told that because of the water situation, that any attempts at grading it would be futile. And so until this problem's resolved, that lot will stay vacant. I am kind of new to the discussion, but it's my understanding that it is the city's responsibility to get some handle on it, and it has been going on for some time. So I just wanted to let my opinion be known. Thank you.
Matt Heathcott, 1003 Miranda Lane. I just want to go on record and say that the culvert at Miranda Lane, where it crosses Miranda Lane on the north end, is currently washing out from the flooding that we've been having. We have a big gaping hole on the top side of the concrete where the water's flowing in behind the concrete, so eventually the concrete's going to collapse. So I'm not sure what the proper channels are to get that looked at and addressed. There's also exposed rebar that is now being unearthed from the erosion that's happening around this culvert, which is a hazard of all sorts because we have children and pets and all that play in and around these areas. So I just wanted to go on record and put that there for you guys. So any attention to that, we appreciate it.
My name is Tracy Schmidl. I'm at 1307 Amanda Lane, and I'm Shelby's neighbor. She has 2 small children. This water goes up to their back steps. It's unbelievable. And we've got videos and pictures. You guys have seen it before. We're going to have something happen to these children. And when they come out and spray the ditch with the glyphosate and it fills up, I've moved a fence 7 feet over, and it's just disintegrating. So let's get together with this, because we want to work with you guys to stop this. And not only are these rocks dangerous, but if you come out, I'm going to put a camera on it because I want you guys to see what's living under these rocks. You can't go out back. You just get eaten alive with mosquitoes, and it's full of snakes. I mean, it's just becoming a disaster out there. And we want to work with you guys to see what we can do. And it happens like that. And the rebar, and also we were at the elementary school when it flooded. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Thursday night, scooping water out with brooms. So it's doing property damage. We'd just like to have your help with this. Thank you.
Your name one more time, please, ma'am. Your name one more time.
Tracy Schmidl. 13.
Anyone else like to address the council? All right, seeing no one come forward, we'll move on to council member remarks. Anything? I know, you have the bike numbers, Mayor? You have the numbers from this weekend on the bike?
I don't, not an official number, I heard them say that they felt like they had over 900 riders. And so about 36 states represented, 9 countries. I don't have that official, so.
Well, I'd just like to thank all those who took part. I know, fire and police and PARD, working, all day to make that event, what ends up being. I mean, it's an international event, and I think we're blessed to have it here in Jacksonville. So all of you who put in a little extra time and effort and sweat this weekend, I just want to thank you for it.
The weather was great for the ride too.
All right, nothing else? Mayor's report.
Well, we just did part of it, so we'll move on. Also, the baseball championships were really good to a lot of people that visited town during those days. I think that all the residents were happy that they stayed pretty busy, so that went really well. The kids really get a real treat out of being led through town by the police car, so we appreciate y'all doing that. They really talk about that a lot. Just to make you aware of some upcoming graduations, you can read those there. Jackson Christian Academy Tuesday night, Pleasant Valley Thursday night, Jackson High School Thursday night. Those there is 8 p.m., so kind of late start there, so I'm sure you all got an invitation to that. So just to remind you, Fair on Swear got postponed from this past Saturday. They were very concerned about the weather. Some people, exhibitors are gonna be setting up their tents and everything, afraid they were gonna get caught maybe with high winds and so forth, so that's been postponed to this coming this coming Saturday, 9 and 3. Same schedule, just 1 week late. And then summer reading program's coming up. That's always a big hit. We have a lot of people sign up for that, so just be aware that's coming up. You can sign up to read and get that done. May 30th is coming up pretty soon, so it's gonna be happening soon. Also make you aware, if you're not already, the sign mail biddings are up, 3 of them. And we had the unveiling ceremony for those on Sunday afternoon. It's a nice little program for that, and they think the sign look really good, so if you haven't gone by there and seen those, they could drive by D Street or A Street or Jackson Alexander Road, and you'll see those 3 signs. And that's all I have, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Is there any business that need to come from council? All right, hearing none, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Second. All right, motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.